One of my favorite things about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is how creative the game could be for everyone. There are so many ways that duelists from around the world can express themselves, and that especially shows in the different cards that players choose to play in their decks. A lot of times, players will look to different tech choices to see which ones would best benefit their strategies. But even more so, players won't start looking at the card pool blind, but instead will start from the ground up by asking themselves, what kind of effect could I use to combo with X card in my deck? For example, when I'm looking at a card like Crystal Conclave, its first effect reads, once per turn, if a face-up Crystal Beast monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Crystal Beast monster from your deck. This effect makes me ask the question, how can I trigger this effect myself? And which card allows me to do that with a reasonable amount of investment and power? Then, through proper keyword searching on Dueling Book, I am able to come across some cards that essentially allow me to do what I need them to do. Most notably, Super Rush Recklessly is a perfect inclusion for this. It triggers the Destruction effect, Impressive Removal, and it's even searchable off Trap Trick. This is why it is used in modern Duel Links Crystal Beast decks, in tandem with Crystal Conclave. Being able to trigger both effects of Crystal Conclave gives the user a massive amount of advantage, along with disruption for the opponent. This is a great example of how good card design can mean great potential for some other cards. I mean, that's why I believe in Crystal Beasts in the first place, since their engine is so unique, doesn't use the graveyard, focuses on gaining advantage rather than disrupting the opponent, and doesn't lock the user into only crystal cards. But that's a topic for another video. In this video, I want to discuss how players will want to express themselves by designing their own custom cards. Card design on Konami's end is sometimes not enough for players to get creative with deck building, and therefore players will look to get more creative by making their own cards. More specifically, today I will be talking about other Crystal Beast custom cards. Now, I love discussing Crystal Beast custom cards because not only do I know the archetypes so well, but it's also just interesting seeing all the different directions that people take with their design. Whether it's focused on summoning Rainbow Dragon faster, or looping Sapphire Pegasus and Ruby Carbuncle as much as possible, there are many ways to author a deck's strategies and really make it your own. The first card I'll be looking at is called Ancient City Crystal Grotto. This card reads, if a Crystal Beast card you own would be sent to the graveyard, except from the Spell and Trap Zone, you can place any number of them face up in your Spell and Trap Zone as a continuous spell instead. You can discard one card, add one Ancient City Rainbow Ruins from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once while it's face up on the field. Right away, this card reminds me of Salamangreat Sanctuary, just because you're able to put Crystal Beast in your back row after you link summon, and it really just gives a continuous effect to be able to do that with your Crystal Beast. It doesn't really gain advantage in any way. I guess the second effect, to search for Ancient City Rainbow Ruins, could be considered gaining advantage, but I mean, you're discarding a card, so you're not really gaining anything there. But I'm most intrigued really by this first effect, where if you link summon a Crystal Beast, you could just put them in your Spell and Trap Zone. If you go for a link 2, you're pretty much Crystal Blessing them back. That's so much more potential with Crystal Beasts, and honestly, I'd rather keep this up on the field than Rainbow Ruins probably. The only thing I could see making this even better is if we got a link 1 to search it, just like Salamangreat Balinx searches Salamangreat Sanctuary. Very cool card, very interesting for sure. Now I'll be looking at Crystal Blast, another spell card. You can only activate this card while you control a face-up Crystal Beast monster. Destroy all cards on your opponent's side of the field. You can banish this card from your graveyard, draw one card. You can only use this effect once per turn. This card is insane, an instant 3 of in any Crystal Beast deck, at least in the side deck. I mean, come on, you destroy all cards your opponent controls while you control a Crystal Beast monster. You just normal summon any Crystal Beast, and then activate this to Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster your opponent's field. But not only that, it has a grave effect that lets you draw a card. Think of how insane that would be in any deck. This would be splashed in every single deck. Doesn't even matter if it's a hard once per turn. This is like just Metal Foes Fusion. Like, you're just able to put it back in the deck and draw a card. So many decks would be able to abuse this. Just tech any Crystal Beast really, and then this card. Like, people will probably splash Crystal Beasts more as just a bombing deck. This would be very cool, but very abusable too. But yeah, neat card. Now this next card is Crystal Fusion. Keep in mind this isn't actually a field spell, this is just a normal spell card. That was just a typo by the creator. But this reads, fusion summon one ultimate Crystal Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or your graveyard. So that's alright, like that's a pretty okay card. You can banish Crystal Beast from your graveyard or field, I guess. But this is where it gets interesting. You could reveal one ultimate crystal monster in your hand, and if you do, you can send fusion materials from your deck to the graveyard instead. Holy cow, all of a sudden this card just got a lot better. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one crystal spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Crystal Fusion once per turn. Okay, this would be a very welcome addition to the Crystal Beast strategy, for sure. Being able to use Zenith's effect to add any ultimate crystal to your hand means you're able to access the effect to send from deck to graveyard at any time as long as you open your regular combo. I mean, you search this off of Rainbow Bridge, or you just draw into it. Better yet, you can send it off Predaplant Verte Anaconda for just an easy summon of Rainbow Overdragon. This card is very awesome. I mean, you could just normal summon Sapphire Pegasus, put Zenith in the back row, Zenith special summon any other Crystal Beast from the deck, and search for Rainbow Dragon. Now you link those two cards on the field into Verte Anaconda, send Crystal Fusion, reveal the Rainbow Dragon in your hand, and now you're able to send all 7 pieces from your deck to the graveyard and special summon that Rainbow Overdragon from your extra deck. And next turn, after you shuffle the field into the graveyard, you can actually summon that Rainbow Dragon from your hand. If you have access to another Zenith and another Rainbow Dragon, you can summon that. And now that there's no other cards on the field, you just OTK. I could see that as being a very good strategy for the Crystal Beast archetype. This would actually kind of tie the whole theme together. I mean, Crystal Beasts have a lot of tools, and this would really bring everything to fruition. I could really see this card bumping this deck up to like a rogue status if this came out. Also, with the Grave effect of Crystal Fusion, just being able to add any crystal card, you have just an insane follow-up, since any of the Crystal Beast spells are able to bring you back into the game at any time. Now this is an interesting card too, Crystal Crossing. This is a normal trap card, so you can search it off of Trap Trick, but it reads, discard one Crystal Beast monster, draw 2 cards. If you control 2 or more Crystal Beast cards, you can activate this card from your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard and return all banished Crystal Beast monsters to the owner's graveyard. You can only use each effect of Crystal Crossing once per turn. So right off the bat, it being a trap, and you're able to discard a Crystal Beast, draw 2, that's better than Rare Value. I'd much rather have this than Rare Value any day. But you have to control 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in order to activate it from the hand, so it doesn't really get you going. I mean, you have to already be winning. I guess you could set it and then during your opponent's turn you could activate it, but I'd probably play this as a 3 of and test it out, see how it is, but it might drop down to 2 or even 1 of. But the Grave effect, very cool, very, very cool. Being able to add all of your banished Crystal Beasts to the graveyard. We don't have a card that really does that in the Crystal Beast archetype, so this would be a very interesting addition. This next card is an Xyz, Crystal Scout. It's a rank 4 water with 1800 attack and 2400 defense. It's a Beast Xyz effect monster that needs 2 level 4 Crystal Beast monsters, so you can't make it generically, so it won't be able to be abused by any other decks, but its effect reads, you can also use Crystal Beast monsters in your spell and trap zone that are being treated as continuous spell cards as Xyz material. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, place 1 Crystal Beast card from your graveyard face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. When a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can shuffle 1 Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap zone into the deck, negate the activation, and if you do, shuffle that card into the deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. We don't really have a way to organically use this card and its effect off of just 1 card, so we would need a combination of a couple cards, because in order to use its effect to detach a material, add 1 Crystal Beast from grave to your spell and trap zone, you need a target in the first place to do that. So you can't just Pegasus, put one in your back row, and then overlay those into Crystal Scout, and then use its effect to place one because you would already need a target in the graveyard, like I mentioned. But its effect to negate and shuffle into the deck, that's pretty unique, and you have to send a Crystal Beast from your Spell and Trap Zone in order to do that. The thing that would really put me over the edge for this card into wanting to make it like an actual card is if it said Crystal Beast Scout. So then you could use the Zenith in hand when you attack with it, and that's really all I really want in any of these Crystal Beast cards. Just another Crystal Beast from the extra deck that adds a lot of power, but you're able to trigger the Zenith in hand when you attack with it, because that's really something that we're missing right now. Interesting card though, I'd play it if it were out for sure. Now this next card is a Link 1 called Neo Rainbow Dragon. It's a light dragon link monster that requires one Crystal Beast monster. It is 1800 attack, so very high attack for a Link 1, I don't know about that. But it's always treated as an ultimate crystal monster. Interesting, I don't really know what that would do. I guess you could Rainbow Gravity, bring it back from the graveyard, but you need all 7. You could probably fuse for Rainbow Neos. But anyway, you can only use each effect once per turn. If this card is link summoned, you could place one Crystal Beast from your graveyard and your deck with different names face up in your Spell and Trap Zone. If a Crystal Beast card you control is destroyed, you can special summon one Crystal Beast from your deck, hand, or graveyard. Whoa! Okay, this card just, you link summon it, and then you blessing already one from your graveyard, the one that you just link summoned for, and then one from your deck, just any Crystal Beast from your deck. So this is also like a Sapphire Pegasus, and it pretty much just turns any Crystal Beast in your hand, you just normal summon it, and it becomes a Crystal Bond. Seriously, or like a Sapphire Pegasus. This is insane. Very cool card. If you destroy any Crystal Beast, or if your opponent destroys it, or you could just trigger it with Super Rush Recklessly or Torrential Tribute, you can just special summon any Crystal Beast from deck, hand, or grave. I would definitely take this card in a heartbeat. A Crystal Beast Link 1 already is like insane. I mean, it's not a Crystal Beast, it's Neo Rainbow Dragon. But still, it's awesome. I would love this card. Any one Crystal Beast makes Crystal Beacon live. How cool is that? Now this next one is also a Link monster. This is called Crystal Gemini. It is a light Link 2 with 1900 attack, a fairy monster. Interesting, so kind of like Ruby Carbuncle. Requires 2 Crystal Beast monsters. Cannot be used as Link material. Sad. You can also use Crystal Beast monsters in your Spell and Trap Zone that are being treated as continuous spells as Link material. Interesting, yeah, very cool. You just summon Sapphire Pegasus and then you can make this. Unfortunately, it's not a Crystal Beast name. I would love it if it was. But Crystal Beast monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Crystal Beast card you control. Wow, very cool. This is like Crystal Power in Duel Links. I would love this effect. This is a great continuous effect. Once per turn you could activate one of these effects, special summon one Crystal Beast monster from hand or graveyard to a zone this card points to, or place one Crystal Beast monster from your deck face up in your Spell and Trap Zone as a continuous spell. This card opens up a lot of options for Crystal Beast. This would increase the ceiling by so much. Unfortunately, it doesn't add the power that we really need for Crystal Beast. I guess the 300 attack boost is really cool. I guess that's what it's really should be used for in terms of power, but as an engine card, oh my goodness, this card is insane. Special summon any Crystal Beast from hand or grave, hello Ruby or Sapphire Pegasus, place one Crystal Beast monster from deck, any one of them from deck. Just Sapphire Pegasus effect too. This is a very cool card. I would love it. It would increase the ceiling by so much. Now this next Link monster, Crystal Magician, is a dark spellcaster with 2300 attack, and it kind of leaves a lot to be desired, but I'll go ahead and read it. 2 or more Crystal Beast monsters, so you need to use Crystal Beast, but you could also use a Crystal Beast Link 2, I guess? So it gains 500 attack for each monster it points to, just any monster. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a crystal card you control, quick effect, you contribute one Crystal Beast monster this card points to, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one crystal card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So right away, its effects are very defensive. There's nothing really spectacular that I'd want to do with this card, but it's that last effect. And it's not even once per turn that I'd want to loop all the time. You just link into this guy, and then link it away from maybe Access Code Talker, or Avermax, Unchained Abomination, any of those. Then you can add any crystal card in your graveyard to your hand. Very cool effect, but you're kind of able to abuse it and use it a lot. Reminds me kind of Celine. Doesn't make the deck broken at all. I would be a little bit disappointed if we had only this card, and it's not even a Crystal Beast name either, so that kind of sucks. So very mediocre card. It's the last effect that really wants me to play it, but you'd already need to use like a broken spell, and yeah. So these next cards are all Zenith versions of all of the Crystal Beasts. So their artwork is the Advanced Crystal Beast, so it's basically just all Crystal Beast retrains. And they all have the same effect of being able to place themselves in the spell and trap zone if they're destroyed, but they have a little bit more upgraded effects. So, Amethyst Cat, the Zenith Crystal Beast, has 1400 attack and 1000 defense, otherwise same stats and everything as regular Amethyst Cat. And if it's in your hand, you can target a Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap zone, special summon both this card and that target. Broken. This is such a broken effect. I'm not even going to go into it a little bit more. But they all have the same effect, where you can banish it from your spell and trap zone, special summon one Crystal Beast Amethyst Cat from your hand, deck, or graveyard, but its effects are negated. Honestly, I wouldn't even play Amethyst Cat if this card was out. Like, I'd just play this card if I had to play Amethyst Cat. But it's also more names for Rainbow Dragon, so I don't know. And this next one, Cobalt Eagle, the Zenith Crystal Beast, says if it's normal or special summoned, you can target one Crystal Beast card you control and one card your opponent controls, shuffle them into the decks. Interesting. It kind of reminds me of Reflection of Endymion, but you shuffle them, obviously. So I'd probably play one or two, just as like a toolbox removal effect. So very welcome addition. I'd probably play this. Now Amber Mammoth, the Zenith Crystal Beast, you'll realize is already a level 6, so you have to tribute summon him, and he's 2400 attack, 1000 defense. Hello Monarchs. But his effect reads, if you have a Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap zone, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy one set card on the field. So I'd probably side this if I'm playing against any back row cards. I'd probably side 3 of this guy. Just a really cool card that you could search off of Crystal Bond. Now Ruby Carbuncle, the Zenith Crystal Beast, has 0/0 level 1 light, so I guess you can link it into Relinquished Anima now. But if it's normal or special summoned, you can add one Rainbow Bridge from your deck to your hand. Whoa! This is so cool! I would probably definitely still run Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle, the regular one, but you just add one Rainbow Bridge from deck to hand. This would be a 3 of, most likely, just being able to add Rainbow Bridge. But then again, it's kind of like Crystal Master, but this stays on the field, so probably better than Crystal Master. And it's a Crystal Beast. Yeah, this card probably takes over Crystal Master's position, but yeah, I'd probably play 3 of this in a deck. Now Sapphire Pegasus, the Zenith Crystal Beast, is a level 7, so you need 2 tributes if you want to normal summon it. So definitely still playing regular Sapphire Pegasus. But if you have 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap zone, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, negate the effects of one face-up card on the field. So it kind of reminds me of Altergeist Conquery, where if you special summon it from hand, you can negate one card's effects on the field. So interesting. I mean, you can special summon it as a quick effect, and you just need 2 Crystal Beast cards on in the spell and trap zone. Yeah, I'd probably play a couple of this. Topaz Tiger, the Zenith Crystal Beast, is a really cool one. He's a level 5 with 2000 attack, so he already has his attack boosted. But you can't normal summon him unless you want to tribute. But if you have a Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap zone, as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy one face-up card on the field. Whoa, okay. You can trigger Crystal Conclave with this card, and it's an engine card that triggers Crystal Conclave, besides Crystal Raigeki, whatever. But you can just special summon it and destroy one card your opponent controls. Kind of reminds me of Scrap Wyvern, if you want to use it with Crystal Conclave, because you could either destroy your opponent's cards, destroy your cards. Wow, really cool card. And last but not least, we're looking at Emerald Tortoise, the Zenith Crystal Beast. So he reads, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap zone, special summon both this card and that target. Whoa, this is so cool. This is a ruby in the back row, and it special summons everything. If you have two of these guys, you can put them in your spell and trap zone, and then special summon themselves, and then look at that, level 2 Aqua. Hello, totally awesome. You just make totally awesome with this guy, and I think that is totally awesome. So, if you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed me reviewing these custom cards, make sure to subscribe for more of this Crystal Beast content, and like the video if you enjoyed this kind of style. And join the Crystal Beast Facebook group so you can post your own Crystal Beast custom cards, and maybe join in on the next time we have a thread like this. I'll see you guys in the next video.